the vision of being the happiest terminally ill patient. And like what Priscilla said, was inspired by 39, the Korean drama, which has just finished airing. So that's me. This photo is me 2 weeks ago when a girlfriend took it for me at the Hampstead Nature Reserve. And very much, nature has become very much a part of my life, particularly after I became ill. And I just like to take you through a short journey, a short but harrowing and very tumultuous journey where I was first diagnosed with multiple myeloma. This is a very rare cancer. It's a form of blood cancer, cancer of the bone marrow. And throughout 2018, I was treated on chemotherapy and subsequently the very mega stem cell transplant, or what we call bone marrow transplant. But when I was barely out of the woods, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And as I listened to Priscilla, as much as her sharing has been positive, for me, knowing and hearing my husband's diagnosis really sent me into total helplessness. In fact, it was worse as a care patient than, as a caregiver than a patient. His passing came very quick, 10 months later, unfortunately, because there were absolutely no signs to his colon cancer. He was an avid cyclist. He looked good. I'm going to show you some of his pictures. And just last year, then soon after, my cancer relapsed. But this relapse was what they call a biochemical relapse. So I looked normal. There wasn't any symptoms. And it was only last month that I started on what you call a maintenance therapy. This is not treatment per se, it is oral. And I would just like to say a very big thank you to my employers, my bosses. One of them is here, and really for their understanding and support and extreme kindness and compassion. As I continue to work, a large part of all the months except for 2018, and of course, very, very important people that I will be showing you. So this is me, my husband in red. He saw me through those difficult months of treatment before he knew he had cancer. And of course, for all female patients, one of the hardest, or what was the most fearsome, was actually the loss of hair. And ironically, the loss of hair was really totally painless, except for the mental emotional agony. But after I had it shaven, that's my cousin who went with me for my hair shave, it was really quite all right because I generally enjoy putting on nice clothes, putting on makeup. So I just spotted another look, and that's my son, Ian, who was doing his BMT. And well, we were having fun, just joking that mommy's hair actually can be shorter than an army boy's. And the picture on the right is the process of stem cell transplant. You can see that black bag there is actually pretty frightening because it marks cyclotoxic. It is actually a very, very toxic chemotherapy that went in to wipe out all minority cells before the refreshed stem cells can be brought back into me. So I come back to this story of love, how love has carried me through, and how mindfulness has expanded and deepened my capability to love myself, and to love others. And the story then became initially when I was sick that I need to live on. I must live on. But after my husband passed on, and as you can see, he was very young, the vocabulary was, I get to live on. So what do I do when I get to live on? I now have the opportunity to celebrate his spirit, and today happens to be our 28th wedding anniversary. We got married on 9th April, 28 years ago. We had 26 good years of marriage with 3 beautiful boys, and they are on the right. And at this time, he already knew he had cancer and he was a little bit thinner, but nonetheless, very cheerful, very gentle, warm. And for those of you that have met him, he is truly a gem. Someone that balances my weaknesses with his strengths. So as I journeyed on, okay, I'm trying to switch the slides here. What took me through very difficult months, particularly when I was sick and when I was caring for him, were what I call artistic pursuits. I knew nothing about art, but yet I found so much comfort, so much solace, so many new friends that so many new friendships that I've forged. And of course, very, very special people like my very good friend from JC, who guided me not only in the different art forms, but sharing her materials and exciting me with possibilities. So I took time to learn pastel Nagomi art, and I even ventured into being trained as a trainer, but I've never practiced. And I got to love to make cards, very simple cards with stem. I got to learn coloring, watercoloring, all guided, by the way. I'm not creative enough to be creating new pieces. And Brahm Centre also offered wonderful art courses. As you can see on the top right, I took on Zentangle, which I loved so much. It's actually easy, fun, and so therapeutic and calming. And of course, with the love language of gifting, I just enjoyed creating cards and gifting them to be unique and the one and only kind of cards that anyone can receive out there. So art gave me so much of time to myself. And as an extrovert, when I cannot go out, I initially thought that I would be miserable, but being able to journal, and actually I have journaled an entire booklet of my cancer story. I've been encouraged to publish it, but well, I think it's just being, these are very personal thoughts. And when my husband was sick, art helped me a great deal as well. But having said that, after he passed on, I did not touch art at all because I felt that I needed to do something different. And this is where in 2021, I took on something which I've never done before, and that was hiking. And guess what? These folks, these beautiful folks right in front, and I think Yang Heng are here today, they are not my friends initially. They are my husband's friends. And they adopted me under their wings and took me through new terrain, which I have never thought I would, with my shoes dirtied, with mud, with sweat. And amazingly, in 2021, as I could not travel, I did about 30 hikes, from very short hikes of about 3 kilometers to the longest, the one on the right below. That is the pipeline walk. We did the whole pipeline in 2 installments. I took about 15 kilometers at its highest. And you might be wondering, how can a cancer patient do this? I was fortunate because in 2021, I had that window of good health. However, my heart was heavy because overcoming grief was far from easy. I had moments of outburst. I had moments of being lost. I didn't know what was happening, but really the people around me, and I'll show you some pictures of who they are. But of course, what I rediscovered was my love for swimming. And up till now, even though I've started on my oral chemo, I take on about 20 laps. And I think Kelly, you're in the audience as well. You know who you are. She has been swimming with me. And this is how I have just taken one step at a time to move forward and to take on aspects which I love and I learn. But what was really enduring was the love. What was endearing was the friendships forged. So being enduring and endearing, these are aspects which now take on a whole new lot of meaning for me in terms of quality relationships, sincere relationships with friends, old and new. And of course, on the left, you'll see my parents and my only beloved brother, who also became mentors to my children. And particularly when I know that I'm not sure how much time I have, but it is really about allowing my illness not to be wasted, not to be lost, and to allow it to expand it into greater love and bonding with the people who love me and whom I love. And I have friends right on the center top. We call ourselves the Ajumas, really because we love Korean drama, we love Korean songs, we love Korean hunks. So it is through very relaxing conversations like these that we laugh, we learn, we eat. And my cousins, my beloved Wong cousins, we have done hikes. And even my very good friends who in fact, on the top right, we just did a one night in Raffles Hotel and we were so mesmerized and delighted. And my very old friends, my primary school friends who visited me, my JC friends that have walked with me very closely, they give me life. They have been life-giving. So Priscilla mentioned about support groups. On the right is my oncologist, Professor Chung Wee-Ju. And I must say that he exemplifies many attributes and many principles of mindfulness. For one thing, he's one of the most equanimous gentlemen that I've ever met. He gave hope, he was calm, and even though when I look very bloated next to him, all right, that's where the steroids were really changing how I look. He always say, look, losing hair is no big deal. All right, look at me, I also don't have hair. So it is true. Conversations like that we laugh, and some of my friends have visited him with me. And as you can see, myeloma inflicts, or those who are afflicted by myeloma can be very young, like Josephine, who's in her 40s, or through to someone like Leonard and Li Ling in their 60s and 70s. And just last week, we met new patients. In fact, the youngest patient now is 39. So really, I look at what life can offer. It's really, it's really like a luck of the draw. We can't control, but yet we can control our own responses. Just like well-meaning friends that ask, is it because of the food that you guys eat that both of you have cancer? I'm not sure how to respond to comments like that, but we really want to look at our lives having been so wonderful for 26 years. Okay, and what I can do with my sons, for my sons, as we move on. Okay, right. And I'm going to speak a little bit about advanced care planning. And with my sons, we had a fantastic conversation. Boys being boys, for one thing, they've been so busy. And the eldest is 26, the second is 24 in the university, and my third child is in junior college. And on one of the Saturday mornings, through Angie's guidance, through a very clear template, we had deep conversations on what it's like to take care of mommy when she's unwell, when she's unable to speak for herself, and when she's unable to even be lucid or think clearly. So that's Ian with our laptop there. He was so kind to be my secretary. All right. And through breakfast, we had conversations, we had deep conversations, we had questions on what is it that mommy value. If she likes Korean drama, why don't we sit with her to watch Korean drama? Wow, that touched me enormously. And what does it mean for mommy to be happy? What does it mean if she's not comfortable, but she's happy? Or what if she's happy, but not comfortable? So we had very good conversations. And what was beautiful about it was that at the end of it, they said, mommy, you're very brave, you're very proactive, and that your leadership and your direction would definitely set us on a clearer course to take care of yourself. And this is because I am so blessed to be surrounded by well-meaning relatives and friends. However, in that one voice and that clarity of direction, giving that myself to my sons might have been the gift that I can best give them. No matter, and I recognize our lives are not in our own hands. We cannot decide when we go, how we go, but at least putting some of such plans in place could help somewhat, although perhaps not entirely. And in this journey of mindfulness, I have Angie to thank. Angie, I'm seated with Angie, and through her leadership and guidance over several retreats and lectures, I also have made wonderful friends. Priscilla is next to her. And together with this new community that I've had the privilege to know, we open up ourselves in unguarded ways to learn, to celebrate life, and to appreciate the blessings that we have, and to support each other through difficult times in our best capacities. And what I appreciated, and this was taken at Angie's place just last Saturday, we laughed so much, and it was through smiles and laughter that perhaps it has added that little dose of healing into each of our hearts, however different they have been. And I just want to thank this community. And Angie, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there for us and for being there for me. Okay, so I will be ending very soon. And this was a quote that Andrew shared with me, that I would allow myself to be used by God, used by my cancer, so that it doesn't go to waste, so that this pain of mine can be a source of strength to others as I journey on in my own authentic ways, very imperfect ways, and to be a blessing, hopefully, to those that might need that pat on the shoulder. And truly, I'm not a Buddhist, but I really love this quote, that we can suffer, but we can also choose joy. And joy, indeed, is an attitude, and it can be cultivated. And what was amazing was that it can be cultivated through practice. And the more we practice, the stronger the positive habits can be honed. And of course, conversely, the more we practice, the negative habits can also be magnified. So I rather choose to be positive. And with this, I thank you